Hi there. Welcome in, everyone. So I've got a big ass nudge from the universe to do a divine masculine um, energy update, especially in conjunction with the eclipse coming next week. I was bolted awake at 1:30 this morning, choking, like I had somebody's hands around my throat. Um, couldn't breathe. I felt suffocated and immediately got the download that I need to do this reading. Okay. So I know energetically that divine masculines are certainly being faced with themselves right now, the choices they've made, the consequences, and which is right on target. You know, the divine masculine is the one that does, takes a look at the consequences of their choice in the 3D reality, right? So they're, I feel like, not only the eclipse, I feel like the end of the snake year, the wood snake. I feel like, and I'm seeing it in other people, and myself on some levels, where we're being asked to really look at aspects of ourselves that we're like, nah, that's not me. Well, yeah, it is. It was a part of you. Let me see if I can brighten me up a little bit there. So, divine masculines are no different. I feel like there's going to be some pretty massive um, awakenings, wake up calls. Very, I'm hearing the phrase strategic. I lost it. Where did it go? Strategic. Whatever it is, it's very strategic, right? So it went and came just as quickly. So let's tap in here to the masculine collective energy, specifically, leaning into the twin flame, divine masculine, sacred masculine energy. Where are they currently as we approach this? Well, they didn't take too long to come out. This eclipse, this new portal. Beloved, radical acceptance. Look at that heart, just on fire. They are having a heart chakra awakening. Um, and I've been feeling that this morning, where it's kind of like where the energy was last year around June, July. The heart started to speed up. It felt like, anxiety in a lot of people. Felt like well, it felt like it because it was the nervous system resetting itself as we prepare for this time. We've been definitely moving toward this step by step, strategically, Spirit is saying. But they are really taking a look at themselves, how they affected this connection, where their love really lies, whether that's within themselves or outside of themselves. Where are they putting their emotion, their feelings, or their love? They're being asked to really accept themselves, all parts of themselves, and to love themselves, and that's very strange for them, right? And we've got stranger. It says curiosity. This is going to definitely open up a whole new world for them, where they see themselves differently, where they see the connection differently. For many of them, it's like this is what's going to get them into an alignment. This energy is really moving them into alignment, union alignment, inner union, outer union, however that plays out for your situation. Let's get, oh my goodness. The road is clear. You know what to do. Walk it your way. Yeah, I've got a lot flowing in right now. It's just this Divine Masculine Collective has been clearing the path. Spirit has been clearing the path for them, through them, with them, for them. Like I said, a lot of awakenings. They're going to know what to do. I feel like this is the aftermath of the eclipse, but we've got to get through it first, right? And as the Divine Masculine, you know, all of us are moving through this eclipse portal, this gateway, of whatever you want to, whatever term you put on it. It's really awakening the heart chakra. It's having us really take a good look at ourselves and accept what we've created for ourselves, right? We are the creator of our experiences, and this is about taking accountability, and that feels like really weird, like I said, strange to the Divine Masculine. I feel like they've been, ooh, I'm very loudly hearing they've been riding the short tails of excuses, their own excuses for too long. Like they've been justifying their actions in other ways, and instead of looking at their choices and their ways, moving, you know, from this point back. Wow. So really getting the mirror, like everywhere they turn, the mirror is right there. And the mirror is your heart, Divine Feminine, right? Well, not just our hearts. I mean, everybody that's so contracted to be a part of their path is a mirror as well. But our soul within them is what's showing them. Wow. It's heavy. So this energy, since I woke up this morning, has been really, really heavy. So let's take a look here. Where's the Divine Masculine? Ooh, head down, just focusing on work, just focusing on a project, just focusing on 3D life, really trying to, my head was like shoved right down here. Maybe that phrase, head in the sand, maybe something familiar to you, but that's not going to work anymore. Not going to work. Time to put the effort and the energy into themselves. Hey, man. They are certainly going to be turned on their head here. Seeing if Spirit wants me to take these. Yeah. Okay. So we've got 3 cards in reverse. We've got the Page of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and the Sun. Really getting this huge escape feeling, escapism coming through. And what has it done? It's just, it sucked the light right out of them. It sucked the life right out of them. Yeah, this escapism, it's not going to work anymore, because the universe is definitely stepping in here to wake these particular Divine Masculines up. No more head in the sand. Wow. So where is just, it's really heavy on my chest sitting here. Spirit, where are the divine masculines in, what are they releasing up to this, leading up to this eclipse? The Knight of Pentacles and the King of Cups. And I love this deck. Again, I think I used this the last time, or I know I used it recently, but the Devil, the Devil is here in this, Capricorn and Knight of Pentacles card. And the King of Cups. One step at a time, very strategically, just being, I want to say shoved, but Spirit is being very gentle, as gentle as they can be, as a result of the divine masculine's choices up to this point. But they are, what's moving out, what they're going through right now is just this purge of inner emotions. Look at these statues are just, excuse me for saying, but vomiting all this emotion, and he's sitting right in the middle of it, right? But it's funny, I don't see anything coming out of his cup. His cup doesn't have anything flowing out of it. It's interesting. She's in her cubby on her tower. She doesn't often go in there. I was like, what is that noise? They're fighting a lot of inner demons with, their own inner demons with these emotions that are coming up. It's, these emotions are showing them again, their choices they made. Hearing something about seeing how maybe it was aligned. They felt it was aligned or thought it was aligned back when they made the decisions, however many there are, and then how it's not in alignment moving forward with who they're becoming. Because eventually this King of Cups, his cup is going to be overflowing. Right now he's just kind of keeping his emotions, what's flowing inside, he's keeping it inside, right? And moving, what is this eclipse's purpose? What is its intention for this divine masculine collective? It's meant to shift everyone into a new cycle, onto a new path. Closing the door to this cycle of head in the sand, no longer looking at the emotions, their feelings, no longer dragging their feet. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck, right? So just no longer dragging the feet. This is going to be, so when I look at this card, when I first got this deck, I looked at this card and he looked like he was levitating to me. And we've got the hangman here being upside down. There's something about they're not very grounded right now with everything that's going on. And I do want to say that. So divine feminine, make sure you're grounding your energy. You could be picking that up, of course. But yeah, he just looks like he's floating to me above the yellow brick road there. It is a brick road. It is yellow. But coming into mastership, showing them in order to show them how to create a better experience for themselves, they've got to be shown how they created the shitty one that they're in right now, right? So, and I'm not saying everyone is they're not all in a shitty situation, but there are aspects. This divine masculine collective has just been, like I said, head in the sand, head down, just doing the day-to-day 3D thing, not taking a look at their, the inner spirituality of the path, or the outer spirituality of the path. They've just been um, excuse after excuse after excuse, just not wanting. I'm surprised the Two of Swords didn't come out already with these cards, but they're just not wanting to see, not wanting to deal with it, not wanting to look at it, not wanting to shift their mindset into something different than what they've always known. But universe is coming in and making this happen for sure. Definitely turning them, pulling their head out of the sand, turning them in an upright manner. Um, but in the head in the sand aspect, there's going to be a lot of gemstones they're going to be able to glean from their time of where they've been energetically. So this eclipse is coming in to just clean slate, shift things into in the direction of the highest timeline for this collective. My back is like really killing me right now. Not really metaphorically. It's just there's a weight on it, and this is like, it's heavy. So I want to know, what is the divine masculine doing with this heaviness? How are they moving through it? Well, they're moving through it. 8 of Cups, Page of Wands. I want to say for the majority of them, they're walking right toward it. They're walking right toward these messages they're getting in. Some of them may be walking away from memories of a connection. Because where'd it go? Why can't I see it here? I look in the camera, I can't see it. When I look at the card, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, there's a man and a woman. I can't see it when I look in the camera. So there's something about the distortion in the rear view mirror. Wow, I got a lot of phrases coming through here. The distortion in the rear view mirror. They're discovering a lot of the downloads they're receiving. They're discovering how much of it has been, well, not only of their making, but an illusion. I want to say something about memories. How they're remembering maybe the past with you, divine feminine. It's that memory is being turned upside down. It's being shifted around. They were living, kept telling themselves that, like I said, justifying why they're not with the divine feminine, justifying the choices they've made, justifying the decisions they've made in their lives. I know I just repeated myself, just used different words, but see, that's another thing. They've been talking in circles in their minds about this connection, but I feel like they're now getting some new information, and that's clearly showing them the illusion, the distortion they were believing, sitting in, holding on to with a death grip. But they're moving through it. Some of them are running. I've got to be honest there, so a little bit of a trigger warning. Some of them may still be running from the intensity and the depth of the emotions that it conjures up. So there are, emotional triggers coming in. I'm hearing for some of them, this is a trauma bond that they've repeated throughout their lives because it was something that they grew up with. All right. So just be aware of that, divine feminine, and maybe look, because we are mirroring each other, just maybe look within yourself in your life where there may be some sort of remnants of some sort of trauma bond that came from your childhood. I do want to say that it does feel like they are, how they're moving through this. It feels like many of them, they've got something to say, but I remember. So I've been in counseling since I was pregnant with my daughter. It's just something that I've chosen to do, and it. I remember one counselor. She was the only one who asked me to identify the emotions and feelings that I was experiencing. And I said, I don't know how to, I don't have a name for what this is because, I was never given a name, and I could never hear a name. And I'm getting a little bit of that with this energy from the divine masculine, is like they want to express to you, or especially to themselves or someone, how they're feeling, but they don't know what the name of the feeling is. They don't know how to identify it, um, because they weren't shown. They and they just haven't, also tapped into their inner dialogue to understand what it was they were feeling, in this connection, and not just in this connection, but throughout their lives. And it just came into this connection. It came into other relationships that they've had in this experience. So they're getting some downloads. They're getting, maybe some clarity about, um, what these emotions are, so they can clearly express it, outwardly to someone. If it's not the divine feminine, then hopefully, especially to themselves in the mirror, right? But a lot of them most likely will be doing this behind closed doors, isolating themselves, doing this alone. All right, wow. So they're carrying a lot. The snake is not messing around with its final days. Uh, the eclipse is not going to come gently. It's going to come screaming. And I'm going to say it's already been giving you some things. Yes, it's you are every one of us. Our intuition has already been getting the downloads. It's already been talking to us. Same with the divine masculine. Their intuition has been talking to them, for a really long time. Uh, but I'm going to tell you, this eclipse is not going to come gently, quietly. It's going to come in screaming, and it's not going to stop for many of us. So, yeah, let's go on the other side. So we've got the world, the eclipse is bringing in a new cycle. I didn't ask anything. Yeah, it is intense. It's intense. These energies are going to hit their mark. Look at that bullseye. These energies are going to hit their mark. There is no way the divine masculine collective, you know how I read. There's no way any of us can not receive the messages, not hear this call of this eclipse, not feel the intensity and the heaviness and the fast forward momentum that this is storing under the surface, because it's not going to be under the surface anymore. It's going to be in reality. It's going to hit the body. It's going to be tangible. We're going to know it. Not only are we going to intuitively know it, but we are going to feel it. And it's going to be right in the heart space. Heart chakra opening, a lot of downloads coming in. The emotions are flowing. Communication is happening through the heart space, into the heart space. And I just want to say, I keep seeing that this cup is not overflowing, but I'm also seeing where it will overflow. I don't know if I've got a deck that clearly depicts that cup overflowing in the King of Cups suit or card, but typically we don't see anything in the cup. So we assume there's something there, but I'm being told right now this cup is empty, but it gets filled. It's empty. It's being emptied of everything that it's filled itself with up until this point, and it's being refilled with such force and such intensity, like a waterfall. I just looked up onto my wall and zeroed in on the waterfall I've got painted there. It's rushing. It's loud. It's intense, man. Intense heart chakra opening. Intense flow of emotion. Intense. Let's see what we got. I gotta write some things down. Okay. What else do I want to ask here? I didn't write any questions down. I typically don't. I usually get them before I sit down. Sometimes I just wing it. And today I'm a little bit winging it. So we've got what they're being faced with, what they're releasing, what this eclipse is intending to wipe out, what we're moving into, Divine Masculine's new cycle, new world, mastership, ownership. Ooh, I like that. Ownership. Like I said, being held accountable and taking accountability for their actions, for how they've burned this love before, accepting who they've been. But moving forward, elevation, they know what to do. They're gonna get the call, and they are. This Page of Wands is not just them wanting to express; it's them receiving a message from the universe, and the message is everything that you've been so distraught over emotionally has been nothing but illusion. Again, I can't see them. I know it's so clear to me when I look at it. There we go. And now I can see them. But there's something about this illusion, this distortion in the rearview mirror. Leave it there. I want to say divine masculines. If you're, doesn't matter gender. If you're the divine masculine, leave it there. After you've dissected it, I guess you want to say, because you're not going to be allowed to not look at it, because the universe is going to hold you there until you get it. I know that sounds, maybe rude or daunting from the universe, but it's done with love. It's done with compassion, and they want you on your path, is the highest path as well. So nothing's done by force. It's just, that's kind of how it could feel like, right? But when the universe doesn't take no for an answer, when they're not messing around, boy, you feel it, you know it in every area of your life. So the walking forward with clarity, with your intuition spot on, knowing what you need to do, knowing what you need to say, saying from the heart space, speaking from the heart space. Really, this eclipse is going to really hit the mark here for the divine masculine collective. Moving forward, let's take a just have a glimpse of a little more moving forward. Let's go out. So the eclipses last for 6 months, right? The energy and King of Swords, clarity, truth, knowledge, learning a lot about themselves. Yeah, judgment. Boy, they've taken a long, hard look at, this window of time is going to bring in. This window of time is going to bring in. I want to say the consequences of this eclipse are Ace of Cups. It's knowing, it's knowledge, knowing who they are, knowing who they came here to be, pouring that out. Now the Ace of Cups is overflowing, but we've got to move through this first, right? We've got to have this eclipse first. For many of these divine masculines, this 6 month portal gateway window of time is bringing a wake-up call for a good many of them. Some of them for all of them. Some of them are going to choose it. They're gonna be curious and want to know more. They're gonna do a lot of research on themselves, which happens when you go within. Maybe a lot of hermiting, so you may not hear from your divine masculine, divine feminine, even energetically for a time, because they've got a lot of learning to do. They've got a lot of growing to do. This is on all levels, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. But the biggest part is that when they come out of this, man, their heart is going to be so wide open, flowing, because they've accepted. Many of them are going to accept this Ace of Cups from the universe. Many of them have lived a life where they were told, or they're repeating what they saw their parents or grandparents do, where they settled. They just were going through the motions. Marriages maybe looked good on paper. Jobs looked good on paper. It's what society expected of them. And they're realizing that doesn't fit for them anymore. They're leaving it in the rear view mirror. I feel like a lot of them have not only been answering or just start answering the call of their soul, but they've been asking for that. They've been asking for it. They've been maybe without even knowing, consciously knowing that they've been asking for a change. They've been asking for another opportunity at love, an opportunity to love themselves. That's where this Ace of Cups comes in, because they first and foremost, they love themselves, and they can't fill this any other cup until their cup is full. And right now their emotions are just running rampant. They're just running all over the place, very emotionally distraught, challenged right now. but the world that they're moving into, the who that they're becoming, the them that they're becoming, even though it feels strange, it also feels right. It feels like home. I don't know why I'm just hearing this. It feels like home. So it's like Spirit really gives them a taste of their becoming, and I like it. But it's going to take a little time for them to accept it. For a lot of them, it's just going to be like it's going to be a no-brainer. It's like head out of the sand, head up, facing whatever comes my way, kind of thing. And but for others, it's going to take a little bit of time, because there could be some stubbornness coming through with this King of Swords, because a lot of their truths, whether it has to do with the divine feminine in this connection, or just the world in general, or themselves, or their families, whatever the truths are, and there's a lot of them that are be coming through, and it's coming in hot and heavy here with the Eight of Wands. They're hard to face. They're hard to accept. But radical acceptance is here, and they will come to a space of accepting, okay, this, what I thought was true wasn't, and what I thought was a lie, or an untruth, is actually how it is, what it is, you know. So divine masculines going through it right now, but all intentional, all strategic by the universe, definitely moving them forward one step at a time. um, I do want to say, even though there are a lot of them might have had their head down for a while, uh, and I've said this before, the divine masculine does transmute the energies, and how they process things is through physical work, projects, doing their 9 to 5, whatever it is, tinkering on cars, or painting, or something. It's something physical and tangible they can work on, uh, and that's how they process things. But in the past, what it's done is it's distorted things. It's also given them an outlet to hide from uh, what needed their attention, and now there's no hiding. Things are going to be right out in the open. Illumination, awakening, but it's all beautiful. I'm hearing I'm hearing so there's a musical, a Neil Diamond musical that gosh, I want to see so badly, when it comes in my area. But anyway, it's called A Beautiful Noise, and that's what this is. It's a beautiful noise. It's very loud right now to these divine masculines and divine feminines. If you're tapped in, like I know you are, you're feeling this too. Um, so you know what's coming through here is, yeah, I feel like this is going to hit the mark for a lot of us. So let's get a final card here. Guidance card, please, from the Divine Masters for the Divine Masculine Collective in regards to this eclipse. Paul the Venetian, gifted one, revealing hidden talents, opportunities to shine. I feel like Divine Feminine, this is a message for you, that as your Divine Masculine energy goes through this is what you're meant to do, because this is what they're moving toward, right? I do want to say a lot of them are going to be having their intuition being so hot and spot on right now. It's funny. I'm seeing Paul the Venetian, but I'm hearing Saint Germain. with the violet flame. So there's something here about working with the violet flame, divine feminine. That's for you. Let's get another card for the divine masculine, please. Metatron and Sandalphon, sacred connection, synchronicity, divine connection, understanding lessons. Exactly. I'm just going to leave that there. Just going to leave it there. All right. Hope you've enjoyed this message. If you're interested in your own personal twin flame reading, you can reach out to me. My email is in the description box below. And I will be doing a divine feminine reading similar to this regarding the eclipse coming up shortly. So take care of yourself. I love you, and we'll speak soon. Take care during this intense time because it is going to hit its mark.